questions for our student athletes?
Hey guys, doing up here. My question's for both of you. I just want to ask about the challenge of guarding a guard like Jackson Shellstad. Like, curious what you guys have seen from him. Jack, you'll probably have more on-ball contact with him. Nolan, curious what your perspective is guarding from someone, you know, down low and small guys coming at you.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll learn a lot the next 2 days that is more scout specific to him, but you know, obviously we're all aware of what type of playmaker he is and how he can shoot the ball and how willing he is on offense as well as a playmaker and a scorer. So will definitely be an emphasis this week, but in terms of specifics, that will come more as the scout progresses.
Excuse me. Nolan, as far as your the emergence you've had this season, I guess I'm just wondering what's kind of been maybe what do you feel has kind of been the most challenging part in terms of consistency and bringing that from game to game?
Yeah, I'd say just every night being ready to go, treating it like it's the biggest game of your life, last game of your life. Just not having the mindset going into it. It's just like, oh, it's just another game. Like having the consistency to be like, all right, like let's get ready to fight. It's gonna be a war tonight. So going with my brother. So just having that consistent excitement, and competitiveness with me brings a lot for my consistency, and that's something I've really worked on this year. And I think thus far it's been pretty good outcomes for that.
I'm sorry, real quick. Is there a phase of the game? You know, offense, defense, shooting, rebounding. Is there a phase of the game that's?
Yeah, I'd say ever since I was young, playing hard on defense and really locking in defensively, your offense will come with that. Whether that's rebounding down on loose balls, really just honing in on your matchup, doing whatever you can defensively. Offense will come, the ball will go through the hoop as long as you're playing hard. That's something my dad's kind of implemented in me. So playing hard at all times can help with the consistency and the ball going in. So it's kind of the big thing that I've kind of worked on ever since at a young age.
Jack, kind of over the last few games, but really over the course of the season, it feels like your role has kind of been up and down in terms of minutes, the type of role you're asked to play. How do you kind of balance that, especially, in that Purdue game where it seemed like you had some more point guard responsibilities, and how do you balance maybe the different types of roles that you have to play in a certain game?
I wouldn't really say it's a balancing act. I say the preparation going into every game is the same, and I can't control what opportunities I get, but the mindset of staying ready is really all I can have. Obviously, Killa getting ejected just sort of amplified my role that game, and the Illinois game also allowed for me to get in sort of a groove out there on the court, but I wouldn't say it's anything specific game to game, it's just staying ready.
Hey guys, just kind of a big picture question. So for each of you, if you could, just where have you kind of seen the most growth, like within each of your respective games, and how have Coach Gard and the staff really pushed you guys over these last 2 years?
Yeah, for me, this offseason, the coaches and Coach Steamsma and Coach Krabbenhoff especially have really worked on with me my confidence coming from the offensive game, and if shots aren't falling at one point, keep letting it fly and trust that my shot's been good. I've worked on it my whole life, so there's no reason I can't trust it. So the biggest thing for me would be my confidence in just every game, knowing that I am capable of shooting it and doing what I can offensively, putting the ball on the floor, doing everything, because that's who I am. I kind of consider myself a bigger guard. Coaches do too, so just giving me that confidence has really pushed me and helped me throughout my game and play at a high level.
Building off of that confidence piece, I would say our coaching staff has done a great job of implementing a system that complements all of our strengths, and at the same time instills confidence in us to make plays and make shots, whether that be early in the shot clock, late in the shot clock. They've done a great job at allowing us to be aggressive within their system.
Jack, having to come in and kind of emulate Kamari's role a couple games ago, I guess, what are the things that he does really well in terms of steadying the game when he comes in?
Well, obviously he makes a lot of corner threes. That goes without saying. His percentages there have been great, but I think everyone on our team would say he is our most consistent and peskiest defender. And when you assign him a player, you can almost count on him being neutralized in a way, and that's comforting out there to be on the court with a presence like that. So his defense and his ability to knock down shots has been huge for us this year, obviously, and being able to sort of try and imitate that is all you can do following up his ejection.
For Nolan, I'm just wondering, coming from a Big Ten family, growing up in Big Ten country, I imagine you were around people who were familiar with the pace that Wisconsin traditionally played at. What was the feedback you got from people when you were initially signed with Wisconsin regarding that, and just what have you heard from them lately, the way y'all been playing?
Yeah, growing up, like you said, Big Ten wasn't traditionally known as the fast-paced Showtime conference. It was more of the set your offense up, run it through, find all your options, maybe like wind down the shot clock, that kind of stuff. So for it to be this fast-paced kind of entertaining offense, it's been a blast to play for. I think all of our players can attest to that. It's been awesome to play for. And yeah, it's obviously a new thing that Wisconsin's kind of built and prided itself on. But this fast-paced offense only kind of contributes and helps all of our players' attributes in our games and really complements everyone well. So yeah, I mean, the people may have said that, whatever, I was a traitor for going here and not going to Minnesota and all that, and whatever. I've had a lot of fun here, and Minnesota is obviously a great program. And they have a lot of tradition, but I'm glad I made this decision, and I love the people that I've gotten to know here and the relationships I've built with and the coaches that are here and the campus and everything about it. I've loved it so much. So yeah, and I love the Big Ten. It's another thing, just the physicality and teams and everything about it, the tradition. It's been awesome.
Jack, this team in the last handful of games have been really good in terms of, almost eliminating turnovers in the second half. There might be a spurt or so in the first half, and then it really drops in the second half. Can you speak to what changes? How do you guys go about, correcting, that aspect of the game?
I would say before every game, an emphasis that Coach Guard, it's either the first or second thing he says is, don't turn the ball over. In the last two games particularly, I think that we've just done such a good job of staying within our structure, which already allows for a lot of creativity. And in that, it also takes away some turnovers that can be, prevented. So I think John, Killa, Klez, even the bigs have just been so steady with the ball, and continuing on that would just be, it makes us really hard to stop when we get so many possessions that end in shots.
Nolan, a couple of times this year, you guys have faced teams where both bigs can shoot the ball. Oregon's one of those teams. They have Nate Bell, Brandon Angel. Both of those forwards can kind of shoot. What are maybe some of the difficulties that that come with a team that can play five out like that? And how have you guys maybe, especially over the last few games, been better defensively, especially when it comes to maybe guarding some of those type of players?
Yeah, obviously it shows challenges from having not as much maybe help responsibilities and needing to close out sooner to shooters. Obviously from when me and Steven are on the court too, I feel like teams have to respect that. So we know it makes it tough. We're firsthand, we know that experience. So having to be there on the shooters with the hand up, being able to guard the drive, we know Angel and Biddle are both capable of putting the ball on the floor and scoring at all three levels. So it's going to be a good challenge for us. What was your second part of the question?
Kind of how have you guys improved defensively the last?
Oh yeah, I think our connectivity defensively, just as the season went on, our communication, our togetherness, our toughness has really taken another level. We've had a couple games where in the locker room after it wasn't always the prettiest, and Coach Guard kind of got on us for our defense and our bite to us and our toughness, and we kind of took that to heart as a team, and we've kind of talked to each other about it, and ever since then in those games, moving forward, we've really made it a priority that defense and good togetherness will bring solid offense, and shots will go in, like I kind of mentioned earlier. So yeah, I mean, it's just all the togetherness and communication that kind of has brought us this far.
No, there's been a lot of talk about how connected this group is. It seems like Kamari and Max are two of the loudest voices within that. I guess, how do they complement each other as leaders and kind of being the voice of the locker room?
Yeah, those two are awesome vocal leaders. Not only vocal, but when you're on the court, you know that they're going to give 110% every time they're out there, diving for those balls, doing all the little stuff. So having them out there in the huddles, during free throws, they're kind of the voice that calms the waters a little bit and brings us together. And whether we're on a run or they're making a run, there's a sense of steadiness when they're out there, each one of them. So being in the same huddle and being on the same team, we're in the same uniform as them. brings a sense of calmness and, you know, just kind of the thought that, you know, everything's going to be okay with them out there. And, you know, our team's very capable of listening. I think we have a very coachable team, so we don't care who's talking to us. We're going to listen, and we're going to go out there and fight for them.
Here, questions for either of you guys. Not sure if you were, excuse me, I'm not sure if you were watching, but the Badgers and the Ducks have faced each other multiple times over the past 10 years in March Madness, once in the NIT a few years ago. Question, do you guys watch any of those games? Is there anything that you remember about those games? Is there anything that, like, you know, like any of your teammates remember about those games?
I'm sure I watched all those March Madness games coming up as a kid and in high school, but we as a team aren't looking at that. The game is completely different. Our players are completely different. Maybe as a history assignment, I'll go watch it for fun because the games have been great. But you know, this is a new team and a new year with a whole new identity. They pose a lot of new threats, and we gotta focus on what's in front of us.
Yep.
For either of you guys in the back, so you go into Purdue and win at a place that is tough to do, and then you follow that up by snapping a 9-game losing streak to Illinois. How do you guys mentally reset after every game and kind of get locked in?
Yeah, Coach always says we can celebrate this one till midnight, and then after that, we're going to get locked in and ready for our next opponent. Because we know in the Big Ten, there's no games off. It's any given night, any team can win. So we got to take each opponent with the utmost respect. And you know, throughout our scouting preparation with them, we got to be locked in every single day, knowing that each and every night presents a new opportunity and a new challenge for us. So. As a team, we've done a really good job of not letting our heads get too high and not letting our heads get too low when it comes to wins and losses. We're very steady-headed, and you know, I think we've done a good job with that. And moving on with these final few games of the season, we're going to give it all we got. We're going to prepare for each team like it's our Super Bowl, because it's what it is, and it's a Big Ten. It's a fun conference to be a part of.
Anything else for our student athletes? Thank you, guys.